Hey, what's up guys, my name is Fire, and today I'm going to be going over what I'd really like to call the ultimate guide to increase your FPS in CSGO. I did a video on this before, but honestly I feel like I could have done a lot of a better job and added some more information, so that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing today. Also, you can test to see what your FPS looks like before and after what I do today by using this FPS benchmark map. I didn't make this is actually made by the guy who made aimbots, and that link will be at the top of the description if you do want to check it out for yourselves. The first thing I want to be going over is tabbing in and out of CSGO, because pretty much everybody has this problem. And the only way I know how to fix this is on Windows 10, but considering most people are on Windows 10 nowadays, I figure this should help pretty much everyone. So first, what you want to do is go to this little search bar thing in the bottom left, type focus assist, and turn off these two settings. This cut my tabbing time in half, and from what I noticed, if you play on native resolution, which for most people is 1920 by 1080, it tends to make it even shorter, but it is very helpful. But next up, the last thing I want to go over before I really get into FPS issues is changing the hertz on your monitor, because if you go out and buy like a 144 or 240 hertz monitor, you have to manually set it or it will stay at 60 hertz and you won't be getting what you paid for. So you can do that by going to your desktop, right clicking, going to whatever your graphics card is. I'm doing it through NVIDIA because most people use NVIDIA nowadays, so that's the easiest way. There's probably other ways to do it through graphics cards, it shouldn't be that hard to find. But then you want to go to change resolution and make sure your refresh rate is set to the correct amount. Mine is 60 hertz because I'm a broke boy and it will probably take me 4 years of ad revenue to even get close to a 144 hertz monitor. But now let's talk about actual in-game settings for fixing your FPS. There is a lot of different things you can do in-game, and one of the main things that affects your FPS the most is your resolution. From what I found, changing your res from 1920 by 1080 or whatever your native res is to a lower resolution can definitely fix your FPS up a lot. Personally, I like playing on 1280 by 960 4x3, and if you don't really care how your game looks, I really recommend doing this. You will see a huge difference in FPS. I also made a video on the pros and cons of playing on 4x3 resolution, so you might even end up liking it more than 16 by 9. If you prefer playing on native resolution, for the love of God, do not play on full screen window. There is an insane amount of input delay and it definitely hurts your FPS. So if you do want to stick to 16 by 9, just don't play on full screen window and you should just be okay. Some other things you can do in game is turn down your global shadow quality, model effect, and shader details all to low or very low, because that's obviously one of the biggest ways to increase FPS, but it obviously does sacrifice your game a lot visually. But if you don't care about visuals and just about FPS and how your game plays out, then you'll be fine. But besides that, the only two other things that you really have to change in video settings are disabling VSync and multi-core rendering. Now let's talk about a couple commands that can help your FPS. These won't make as big of a difference as the other things I previously went over, but you may gain like a bit of FPS, maybe like 15 to 20 from doing these. I recommend putting these in a document or something on your computer so you can easily copy and paste them in console every time you open your game, because for some reason if you put them in launch settings they tend not to stay. I don't know if this is a glitch or it's meant to be like this, but yeah, they tend not to stay, so I highly recommend putting them in your console. And if you don't know why your console isn't opening or you don't have it bound, you're going to want to go to settings, game settings, and make sure it's enabled and bound to a key, and it should automatically be bound to the tilde key. And some of the commands that I found out personally help me the most are CL_FORCEPRELOAD1, which preloads maps and sounds, and FPS max 0, which makes your FPS unlimited. This can actually cause your FPS to fluctuate a bit, but overall I feel like it makes mine increase, but it can dip a lot because of this, but overall, yeah, as I said, it should increase it. Another command I personally like a lot is R_clear decals. I personally bind this to a key, and this is especially helpful in game modes with a lot of people, like deathmatch or even some community servers with like over 10 people. This is a really helpful command. It actually clears blood and all bullet holes and can definitely increase your FPS if you're playing in a larger server. All you have to do is bind it to a key and then hit that key and it does the command. It just clears all the blood and everything. This is also helpful on maps like aimbots and stuff like that, because if you are like grinding aimbots and kill like 1,000 bots, aimbots, there's going to be a lot of blood. Just tap this key, or I think aimbots has it automatically where if you inspect your gun, all the blood and stuff goes away, and you will definitely see a difference in FPS if you do this. But besides all of this, all I can really recommend doing is make sure you don't have any unnecessary tabs open, especially Google Chrome, because that will destroy your FPS. Also, going offline on Steam can help FPS dips, like they won't happen as much if you do get a lot of Steam notifications. But besides that, that pretty much does wrap up everything that I wanted to go over in this video. So if you guys did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.